Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, folks. Michael Zuber, one rental at a time, back with his Sunday morning guest, Mr. Todd Baldwin. How you doing, sir?
I'm doing great. Thanks for having me on.
Hey, man, this is something that just came to me. We may make this a running series. I'm going to call it the Millionaire Coffee Talk. I don't know about you, but I get asked all the time for coffee to pick my brain. And there was a time where I could say yes to everybody, and now it just doesn't happen because, frankly, I value my time. And most of the time when I have these conversations, you all don't do what I say. And that's wasteful and that annoys me. And I stopped doing it. So
I feel your pain.
Yeah, it doesn't. It's crazy. So let's just pretend you and I are in a Starbucks or a Pete's Coffee or your local coffee shop. And we're sitting down with someone and, let's assume they're employed. Let's assume they're living paycheck to paycheck, but they want to be a millionaire. If you want to put any more caveats around it, feel free. But where do you kind of start the conversation?
That's a good question. I would say, assuming that they want to have money and that's their measure of success, I would say that the first thing they got to do if they're living paycheck to paycheck is figure out a way to increase their income.
Yeah.
Whether it's a side hustle or they do some self-improvement stuff and then they qualify for a raise. And then once they're making some extra money, live on whatever they were living before and divert that other money to buying income producing assets. And they might have to save up for a couple of years first, but yeah, that extra money goes into a separate account. And the point of it is to buy income producing assets.
Yeah. It's funny. That's kind of the same 1, 2, 3 for me. So step one, if I'm sitting there talking to someone, I say, congratulations. This is the best time in my adult life to make more money quickly. For most of you, that's going to mean quitting and going to a competitor. I have worked in enterprise sales the last 30 or so years. I was a hiring manager for the last first or second line for the last 12 years or so. I could give 3, 4, 5% increases. And let's be clear, most of my team got 0. You want to make more money as a salesperson? Sell more stuff. Let's just be clear. But some people did get raises. If they quit and go to a competitor, they could make 10 or 20% more. And we're talking not OTE, we're talking income, right?
Yeah.
So most of you, it's uncomfortable. I know you got a bunch of friends. I know this, I know that, blah, 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 blah. If you want to make more money right now, go interview at a competitor, see what they'll pay. And then, oh, by the way, take the offer letter to your employer. Maybe they'll match it if you are that good. And if you're not that good, they're going to say kick rocks. Either way, you're making more money. So step one, and that's not always been true. There have been some times where staying put was the better answer, but not today. Then yeah, side hustle, do something, 9 to 5, then work 5 to 9 so you can replace your 9 to 5. Number 2 for me though is a little more detailed. Number 2 for me is, and it's a big part of my Get Your Money Right course that I have, is needs versus wants. Go take your credit card bill, your debit card, your Zelle, whatever you're using to charge stuff. Go look at your last month, or if you really want to have fun, go look at the last 90 days and go down the list and put an N for need, like rent, groceries, car payment, versus want, movies, new clothes, whatever. And have an honest discussion, and then take that list to your significant other or family friend that you trust and have them audit it, because some of you have a very bad filter. This was life-changing for me. I read Rich Dad Poor Dad at 30, realized I'm completely naive to the world, that I'm stuck in the rat race, living paycheck to paycheck. We start doing needs versus want, and we ended up whacking half of our spend. We thought we made it. We were so wrong. So that's number 2. And then, yeah, you take whatever's extra from the increased income, expenses, you stay flat, and then it all goes on the side for income producing assets. It's kind of the same 1, 2, 3, just a little more detail, I think.
Yeah. And so if I could elaborate on my asset thing. So the way I do it, and the way I recommend anyone who wants financial success, right, is your paycheck is not for fun. Your paycheck is not for vacations or bottle service or fancy clothes or a nice car. Your paycheck has one job, and that is to buy assets that produce income. And then once you have those income producing assets, let the assets pay for your fun and your vacations and bottle service at the club or whatever you want.
Exactly.
But yeah, your active income, which is the money you work for, that, in my opinion, if you want to become wealthy, active income should be used to buy passive income. Your passive income you can use for whatever you want.
Yeah, I think that's a big thing that Grant Cardone is getting right now. He's really pushing that idea, right? Your active income is to buy assets, and then you buy your toys, your watches, your cars, your beach homes off of your passive income. And I think that's where we all should go. And the last thing I would tell somebody at coffee is get ready for 10 years. This is a 10-year commitment. This is not a get rich quick. This is a get rich for sure. This is buying time. This is buying options. It's buying lots of stuff. But I'm not going to sit there and tell someone at coffee, yeah, sure, some people can get it done in less, but I'm going to make sure that person at that coffee knows it's a 10-year commitment. If they're not ready, I'll get up and leave, right? Because it's not worth my time.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So what else are you going to tell this person? You're wrapping up. You want to leave them with one more thought before you leave.
Yeah, I would say that make sure you're doing this for you and not to flex on your old friends from high school or the woman who broke your heart or, whatever it is. Like,
hey,
do it for you.
Go get your fuel wherever you can.
Yeah. And you can be motivated by the chip on your shoulder. I certainly was. I grew up poor and it lit a fire under me. But at some point you have to switch to like, why am I doing this? Why am I working so hard? Because in the beginning, you will work really hard. Eventually, it'll sort of be passive and you can, hang out and chill. But if you're working 17 hours a day, like I was when I first started, it has to be bigger than, oh, I want to do this so I can flex on Instagram. It has to be like, this is the life that I want to create for my family because it's what I want. So just be real with yourself about that.
What I've heard a couple of my experts say this, and I'm sure you would agree with it. When you're in the thick of it, and I say it takes 10 years, but the first 3 to 5 years are the hardest, right? Because you got to get that momentum, that inertia going. What I tell people is in that time, you're not doing it right if your friends want your life, right? I think the lumberjack has said a couple of times, everybody wants my life now, but nobody wanted my life then. That's what I think your friends should think, right? And Olivia and I were right there. I mean, we sacrificed so much. I remember going to an housewarming where like a direct report, right? So I'm here, he's here. He's in a bigger house in a nicer part of town with a yard. And I remember driving home just like I haven't given that to Olivia and my kid and feeling like an utter failure. Yeah. So nobody would want our lives then, but yeah, a lot of people would want it now. So again, if you're going to jump into this, get ready to be uncomfortable because the first 3 to 5 years, you're going to make some uncomfortable sacrifices. Your friends and family are not going to understand, but you're trying to do something bigger. I can tell you buying back 50 years of my life with 10 years of sacrifice is a trade I would do over. Yeah. So it's worth it. So get started.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So how can people find you, Todd? This has been a fun Millionaire Coffee Talk.
Yes. If you guys want to check out my YouTube, just search for my name, Todd Baldwin. And my Instagram is @Todd J. Baldwin.
Thank you, buddy.